Good evening, everyone. My name is Julianne Hirsch, Chair of the Select Board. I would like to call the Select Board meeting for October 9th, 2025 to order at 6:39 p.m. This meeting is being conducted remotely in accordance with the provisions of the open meeting law. It will be streamed live and recorded. Because we are remote, all votes this evening will be by roll call. Before we begin, I will confirm the presence of the Select Board members participating remotely. As I call your name, please state your name and confirm that you can hear and be heard. Mike Tejan.
Yes, hi, this is Mike Tejan. I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, and we can hear you. Jonathan Ray.
Jonathan Ray, present.
Thank you very much. We can hear you. Laura Zeiton.
Here, I can hear you.
Okay, great. And Jacob Jones.
Jacob Jones here. I'm hearing loud and clear. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the first thing on the agenda tonight is public comment. Is there anyone in the waiting room who would like to offer a comment? Anybody? I'm hearing something. What?
Julianne, there was nobody in the waiting room.
No one. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Next on the agenda is a request to support Dog Park Maintenance Gift Fund. This is a request from the Recreation Department for the Select Board to accept the Dog Park Maintenance Gift Fund to consolidate donations and banner sponsorships in support of the dog park. Funds will be used to offset supplies and maintenance costs and to produce and post sponsor banners at the site. No matching town funds are required. This gift fund is intended to help defray town expenses. And so now we have to discuss. And I think we might have some information about this, about the use of banners at public facilities. Do we, Stephanie, did you want?
Yeah, sure. So I had asked our town clerk, and I was thinking more so political signs, and the Damien, what she said was, where is it? I'm just trying to find the charter. Damien right here. Shoot. Basically, it said that signs can't overlap onto a public way. That's part of the charter.
Hmm.
And then there's temporary signs, da da da. So then I talked to Laura, and Laura said, basically it's regarding signage banners at the dog park. So what I said to Laura was, well, we've been doing this for like 25 years. Like the Splash Pad has had sponsorship through banners. So donations is one thing. Donations, of course, is when they donate money into a special account. We use the monies to, maintain and whatnot. The sponsorship, they obviously want something for their donation, which is, marketing, a sign. So, I was just telling Laura, we do that currently at the splash pad. We do that at the baseball fields. That's how we maintain that. Even part of their uniform costs comes from there. Just like you can think of Apple Fest signs or, signs like that too. It's anything that helps the community. It's a community event. But,
Steph, quick clarifying question on it.
yep.
I was under the impression, after having been involved with Northborough baseball for a long time, that all of that wasn't town funded, that funding was from NYBSA at the time, and that it wasn't the town. Is that
It's
true?
not. Oh, of course it's through the association. So when people sign up their child, they pay
Yeah.
fee, da da da.
Yeah.
But a lot of the donations and sponsorship goes into maintenance, and it actually, is Ally on?
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, you, Avi, I don't want to speak on
No,
behalf.
that's okay. It's so baseball does take the fees, but they also put money into the fields. They pay for the fertilization, they pay for the irrigation. So all of that money goes into that. Without that, I'm not sure that baseball would be able to move forward. They definitely depend on all of those sponsor banners that they have.
Oh,
Do
no,
you
I,
know-
I,
Oh, sorry.
I get that. And if you look at their filings that are publicly filed because of the nonprofit, I mean, they have very well reserved. I was more curious about like how are we contemplating the dog park? Is that a separate entity like, or is it going to be a town? Is it going to be Department of Public Works? Like, how are we thinking about the entity in which it's going to operate within?
Well, what we're doing is recreation is sort of taken over, and as far as handling the monies that are coming in and out of it, the DPW obviously will be doing any maintenance that needs to be done. They'll be handling the trash. The reason I wanted to set up this gift account is because I've had people say that they would like to make donations. And I would also like to do the same thing that I do over at Assabet Park with the splash pad, and that is to ask for sponsorship banners in order to offset the cost of, for example, with Assabet, offset the cost of the water. The water is about $8,000. So I can pay for most of that through the banner signs. What I'm looking to do is do the same thing over at the dog park and hopefully pay for the poop bags, pay for mulch, things like that, like a steady maintenance that's going to happen constantly is what I'm trying to take away. I don't want that cost coming from the DPW because then it's coming from the taxpayers. I'm trying to offset that.
Okay. Thank you.
So Ally, why don't you explain to us first about consolidating donations?
Well, basically, I have a revolving account, and inside that revolving account, I have different subsets. One of them is, fall programming, summer programming. It goes through all that. But then I also have a parks area for the splash pad money. So I have a Challenger account. So when somebody donates money towards the Challenger baseball program, it does go into my revolving account, but it goes into the subset of Challenger. So what I'm looking to do, coming forward today to ask you to open up a subset account, gift account for the dog park.
Well, I guess, okay, I'll go to you, Jacob, in a second, but how much money do you think you need to offset this?
Well, I looked it up and I just ordered 8,000 poop bags for $300. So we're very new. I don't know how many poop bags we're going to be going through to make that estimate yet. But I have a feeling it's going to go pretty quickly. I don't know if you guys have been down there, but it's pretty busy. So I'm just trying to get ahead of it before we have to start paying for it. Does that make sense? And then once we go through a calendar year or even 6 months, I'm going to have a much better idea of what that maintenance is going to cost.
Okay. Okay, Jacob?
Hi, thanks. So in my head, I'm totally for, like, if we need to set up separate segregated account to consolidate gifts, totally, let's do it, subject to Jason telling us, what he thinks is right. But my understanding, and I could be wrong, is that would just apply to true gifts, nothing in exchange. But that to the extent the town is ever giving anything in exchange, like banner space or whatever, that we would have to treat that differently. And maybe our finance director can help me understand that. And I know it's not impossible. And I'm looking at Mass General Laws, Chapter 40, Section 3, which I think lets us sort of lease, if you will, parts of town property, the park could be a part of a fence. I'm just hypothetically speaking here. And then the proceeds from that can go directly to a specific department as I read that part of the law. Am I in the right space here, Jason, or am I confused?
Okay, so I think the first question that came up and through the if it's okay to speak through the chair,
Please.
I think the language of consolidated was brought up, and under the gifts grant statute 4453A, it says that gifts and grants can be, you would either consider them uniquely, each one as on their own, or they can be consolidated into one fund. And I think that's the nature of calling it a consolidated gift fund, so that we can put all of them into, because they're going to be like donations for like purposes. I don't think that there's anything that says in the gift grant law that nothing can be exchanged for it, but we cannot give people IRS recognition that is tax deductible for the part that they didn't receive something for. So typically, if somebody were to give a gift to the town, it could go through a gift fund. If there was something received in exchange for that, we could not write a letter acknowledging that it was a tax deductible donation. So currently, if somebody donates more greater than $250 to the town, for somebody to acknowledge that on their taxes and take that, as a credit on their taxes, they would have to get a letter from our treasurer acknowledging the gift. If somebody were to get a banner in exchange for being acknowledged for sponsoring the park, I don't see that that's precluded from being done through the gift and grant fund. But we could not write a letter saying that they got nothing in exchange for their gift, if that clarifies that question.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from the board? I have a question. Stephanie, I don't really understand what you meant earlier on. Can we put, okay, I know that we've had.
So basically, hold on, let's see. Of course, I can't find it right now. Hold on.
What are you looking for, Steph?
I'm just looking for, Damien sent me the part of the charter that said signs can't overlap onto public property, but I think it's, to protect us so Joe Schmo doesn't just start saying, selling tires $5.95 and putting it on our property. Hold on a sec. I talked to her a lot, I guess.
Well, while you're doing that, to your second point there, Stephanie, like Ally, how would you, what if you got 100 requests? How would you decide?
Oh, we're only going to take a max of 5 right now. I don't want it to look like a baseball field. I just want to start off with 5 and see how we do financially. And it is a large park. I'm sure we could take more than 5 without it looking like the baseball field. But I figured that was the starting point, and go from there. If we need to take more, I can talk to my Park and Rec Commission about that in the future.
Oh, okay, I found it. Okay. So the part that she highlighted, it said, in no case shall any sign or part thereof project over a property line or over a public way. That's what she sent me.
So the public way here is the dog park?
Yeah, or a property line. So basically it's what she found. I don't know if it pertains to what we're talking about, because it's just so, people can't overlap their signs onto a public way or anyone else's property line. But of course, in this case, we're giving permission.
Well, I do have one concern, and that is that that's a very residential neighborhood. And I don't know that it's the right place for even 5 banners, but that's just my opinion.
Are you talking about inside the dog park?
Yeah. I mean, but if it's on the fence, you'll see it from the road, right?
No, I'm sorry. They're inside the fence facing the people in the dog park.
Oh.
That the point is that we'll get, businesses that are dog friendly, like you might have a dog groomer or a veterinarian, or, you know what I mean? And so they're the ones that I think would be interested in putting up a banner at a dog park. So they would be facing inside the dog park. You wouldn't see them on the outside.
Oh, I see. That clears things up. Jacob, did you have a comment?
Oh, it may have been the same direction you were going. I'm not sure where the town sign bylaw fits on this. My only comment would be if this fits within the bylaw where we got to get a permit from the building inspector or whatever, I'd like to just make sure we follow it. I mean, I don't know if it does or not. I know that the sign bylaw applied to the fire station, which is municipal property. They had to go seek a special permit for the sign that they wanted to put. I'm not really excited about the proposition that we have a bylaw that applies to everyone's property, but the town can just do whatever it wants, and businesses and residents have to follow it. So, I mean, for example, I could imagine there's probably businesses that have space that they'd like to sell advertising space on, but we wouldn't allow it because it would violate our bylaw. So I'm for finding ways to figure this out and solve it, and whether it's just getting permission from ourselves, i.e. the building inspector or whatever. I just want to make sure we've looked and made sure that we're not inadvertently violating our own bylaw. That's all.
So are you saying, and should
And I
we,
don't know if it does. That's all.
Well, Bob already allows for all of the banners that Ally was referring to at the Splash Pad Assabet Park and Memorial and, wherever else. Ally, do you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting too specific with, this specific park. I mean, we have signs. The Harvest Craft Fair has a sign hanging up at Ellsworth McAfee because, the garden club hangs up signs for their garden, sale that they have. The Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts put out signs for food drives and things that are going on. So Bob is usually very friendly when it's a benefit to the town, if that makes sense.
Or to the taxpayers is a better way to say it.
Well, if I may, Madam Chair.
yes, please.
And if my suggestion is if we want to make that be an exception to our sign bylaw, then we should write that in as an exception. This doesn't apply to municipal properties or to nonprofits or whatever. But I'm saying that what I want to avoid, and again, I just saw this on the agenda. We're looking at it. I don't know specifically if it violates our bylaw, but I wouldn't want us to just say, well, because it's good for the community, we don't even have to look and see if it violates our bylaw.
So are
Well-
you saying you'd rather postpone the vote and confirm that this?
It may be, I mean, I hate to postpone anything. I'm uncomfortable supporting it if it does in fact violate our bylaw without saying, let's figure out a way to solve that so that we're not just continue. And by looking and saying, well, we did it elsewhere, that doesn't really answer the question, well, is elsewhere also violating the bylaw? I don't know. Maybe it's not. And maybe the answer is simply, Jacob, here's where on the bylaw this is an exception, or maybe it's because, as Ali said, it's facing toward the road. It doesn't count. I mean, I'm just looking, it says, no sign shall be erected on the exterior of any building or on any land unless the building inspector has issued a sign permit. So I'm like, what does or on any land mean if it's a fence? Fence isn't really a building. It's facing inward from the road. I can absolutely see Ali's arguments. And again, I'm not trying to take a side or position on this. I'm only on the side of, if the residents have to follow the law, the town should have to follow the law if it applies to the town. That's all.
Madam Chair, may I?
Yes, please.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I think all valid concerns, but I'm not sure if it fits right within the scope maybe of what we're looking at, right? Because our agenda item is about opening the fund to start getting these donations, which could include the banner sponsorships. We're doing these banners now. So we're doing them at all these other parks. To me, the dog park is no more special than any of the other ones. So I don't have a concern about doing that there like we're doing everywhere else, right? If it's good enough for the people parks, I would think it's good enough for the dog park as well. I'm okay with, I like the idea of starting small, Ally, and seeing how it goes and maybe expanding from there, but I'm okay with trying to defer as much maintenance costs of that dog park as possible onto non-taxpayers. So I'm okay with expanding it. So, and I think this fund, right, would be kind of similar to what we set up for Marshall, right? So that people could give and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but so people could give donations and things to help fund the comfort dog. Obviously, right, we're not going to like put a Dunkin' Donuts T-shirt on Marshall if they write a big check, right? So there's a difference there. But you know, if there's something internally, maybe we need to do some checking on as far as bylaws and signage, and maybe making a tweak overall, because maybe there's something that wording wise could be tweaked to just make it more clear that what we're already doing is acceptable. I don't know if I would be willing to hold this up for that though. I think I'd be willing to move forward on this, get the gift fund set up. Let's see if we can start getting at least donations in, and then doing the same banner procedure that we've been doing elsewhere in town. I guess I don't have a big problem with that.
Okay, thank you. Jonathan?
Isn't there already a sign at the dog park for veterinarian?
It just went up yesterday. That's why I'm coming to you, is that we did get a banner, and Jason had asked me to come to you in order to open up an account to put the money that we got from the banner. I didn't realize the banner was going to be the discussion. I was just coming here to ask to open up the gift account.
I appreciate that, Ali. I was just checking for understanding, because I'm making sure I'm thinking of it all the right way, because I thought I saw a banner there.
Yes, it just went up.
For vet. And what do we get for a banner for? And what's the terms when someone gets a banner? Is it a monthly fee?
It's $1,200 for 6 months.
I think that's real money. And it's good that we have a number, like in a term. I really like the fact that we're able to answer that clearly and it's not subjective.
Yes. I have a whole contract already written up. So we've had one for Splash Pad. We have a contract for these signs. Obviously the dog park can go all year round, whereas the Splash Pad, it's really just, open season in the summer. So this one I'm doing in 6-month increments in order to create more revenue for that park.
Thank you, Ali.
Jacob?
Yeah, and I appreciate our Mr. Tejan's clarification. As I said before, I'm for making the segregated account, especially if it was just for gifts. And if our finance director is saying that what's being contemplated here would also be compliant with Massachusetts law, then I'm also for it. So to answer that question, yeah, I'm for making the segregated account so they can do what they need to do to help provide funding, including if someone just wants to, banners aside, cut a check. And so yes, I'm for it. I just wanted to just comment, since we were talking about the banners, maybe internally or separately, we could just check and make sure that we're all complying. That's all.
Well, the agenda does specifically say to consolidate donations and banner sponsorships. So, I mean, the discussion does have to be whether, how we feel, not how we feel about the banners, but to determine whether they are legal. Okay, Laura, do you have any opinion on this?
I definitely appreciate your desire to save money for the town, Ellie, and I love the creativity behind it. My only sticking point, which I mentioned to Steph, is the question around the bylaw. And I realize that is separate from a gift account. I would love it if we could devote more time to what that sign bylaw means for our town, just so that there isn't so much subjectivity about what does and doesn't apply to it. I thought that the Apple Fest and Scout signs were temporary signs, so I saw them as a different item than a sponsored ad. And my only concern is that there's some vagueness around the bylaw, and it's creating some questions in the community that if it was just more clearly defined, it would be easier for us to know whether it's okay or not, rather than having the uncertainty around it. So,
Maybe
I had mentioned that to you earlier. Pardon?
Yeah, maybe I can get an article in writing for special town meeting. Honestly, because if she has to take down the banner, then she has to give back the $1,200, and then if you look at that, the baseball field would have to rip down all their signs, to be fair, and the splash pad would have to rip down all their signs. So I mean, I think it's better to adjust for it if we even need to. I can get clarification through town council as well.
just to clarify too, these signs are considered temporary as well. They don't stay up permanently.
Well, I guess like nonprofits and events just seem different to me than a sponsored banner. But again, when it comes down to the bylaws, there's a little bit of a gray area, and ideally it would be just nice for us to have clear definitions. And that's separate from the gift account. And I understand the benefit of having that additional money. I would just like some clearer language in the bylaws, as it relates to these things.
Okay, so we have, Jacob, are you of the mind to clear up what our bylaws state or don't state before we vote?
I would like to that. I mean, if we could vote on just the gift part of it, I'd vote for the gift part of it today because I don't see there's anything holding that up. But in my mind, a gift is I'm giving you a check and you don't need to put up a banner for me. The banner sponsorships is just as members Aiton and you have said, maybe they're fine, and maybe I'm saying things that are out of line. I'm not trying to hang this up, but I'm just like, again, I want to make sure that we're applying the law consistently across town, including for ourselves. And if that means tweaking the law, that's the right thing to do, rather than everyone have to figure out why are special people in special places accepted from what everyone else has to comply with.
Mm-hmm.
But in that case, I mean, if that's what we're talking about, then the banner that's up there now has to come down.
I don't know if it does or doesn't. That's what I'm
No,
saying,
not-
Mike. I don't know the answer to that, but I don't know if it is or isn't.
I mean, but couldn't this just be a carve out that maybe we deal with as a separate agenda item? I mean,
Sure.
it just seems like a lot of discussion about a gift fund. I mean, maybe I'm not seeing all the forest through the trees or whatever, but I mean, I don't know. I just see why we can't just. I mean, I'll make the motion as written. Stephanie can take it as an administrative matter to just double check the sign bylaw and make sure what we're also doing everywhere else is in compliance with that. And if not, or if there's some vagueness in the wording, it could always be cleaned up at a regular town meeting in the future or something like that. I don't know. It just seems a lot for just opening a gift fund for the dog park.
And just, I mean, to Mike's point, and I really appreciate the hygiene and the bylaws and ensuring these are really important things for us to get involved in. I do take comfort in 6-month duration and a defined term on this in order to kind of move forward with the vote tonight, because I feel like, Allie's done a nice job of thinking about how to do this in terms that benefit the town. So I do appreciate it, and I want to answer the same questions that Laura and Jacob are raising, but I don't see a big issue in this case with the signs up there right now, based on the facts that have been presented tonight.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And I don't know if any of us really have huge objections to it. It's just a matter of clarifying whether right now they are legal. So, John, I think you're assigned that motion, and Stephanie, help me out. If I'm saying this correctly, you could make the motion to consolidate donations, not mention the banner sponsorships, and then when we find out more information, we can discussion. How would that be?
That's fine. But you're not saying she has to take down the banner that she already
No,
received.
no.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we may have to have another discussion to, change the bylaw or whatever if we find out that
Yeah.
right now we're not supposed to have any.
And
Okay.
sorry, Madam
Yeah,
Chair.
Ellen. Yeah.
My question would be, if you do change the wording, where would I put the $1,200 that I obtained from that banner?
I think it goes to the general fund in that case, doesn't it, Jason?
So, Jason, if we take out in the motion, if the motion reads as requested by the Recreation Department to consolidate donations and not mention banner sponsorships, can it still go into a separate fund?
Well, I wouldn't want us to be handling money in a way that's not been approved by the board. So-
We're approving donations.
I mean, what if we just approve, what if we make the motion as written, and Ally, can you just not sell any more banner space until you get additional clarification from the board or the
That's
town
okay.
administrator?
Yeah, to be completely transparent, somebody just paid for another one today. So I would have
You
to
snuck one more in,
return
but-
it. But
yeah, I
that
mean-
I don't have any other interested parties at this point besides the two.
Okay, so I mean, maybe we could just make the motion as written, that way that streamlines at least those two. We won't sell anymore, right? You're the one who would be selling them. You're saying
Correct.
you're not gonna do that. And then we'll figure this out, administratively or get, as another select board agenda item.
Yeah, and if it's okay, it's a done deal. We don't even have to discuss it again. That's a great idea. Okay. All right. All right. So so the motion then, I will state the motion because we're going to have it as we have originally written it. To move that the board vote to support the dog park maintenance gift fund as requested by the Recreation Department to consolidate donations and banner sponsorships in support of the dog park. Funds will be used to offset supplies and maintenance costs and to produce and post sponsor banners at the site. Is there a
So moved.
Who was that,
Second.
Laura?
Laura.
Laura moved the motion. Is there a second? Jacob, are you seconding?
Can I suggest a friendly amendment? I'm sorry not to
Sure.
complicate it, but my suggestion would be, and if later it's determined that any part of this action is inconsistent with mass law, then the other parts that are consistent will stay. So that,
I mean, I'll second the motion. Sorry, Jacob.
The motion as amended or as Laura stated
so
it?
you'd have to accept the
As-
amendment if you wanted it, the person who made the motion.
I mean, I think if we did something that was in violation of the law, right, we can fix it later. So I'll just second the motion as originally
Yeah,
stated.
that's fine. I'm just trying to save us time later.
Okay. So the motion has been made by Laura, seconded by Mike. No amendment. Roll call vote. John,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Laura,
Aye.
Jacob,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Okay, and we will get further information later.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Allie.
Allie,
Thank
thank
you,
you
Allie.
so much for all that you do. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the proactive work in seeking funding. I didn't want any of my comments to sound like I was not grateful for that.
Jacob, I always appreciate you keeping us out of trouble. So from my perspective, it's welcome.
Okay. Okay, next on the agenda is a request to support FY 2026 Green Communities Decarbonization Grant. And this was brought up at our last meeting, and we requested further information about specific numbers about whether, how much this weatherization and insulation was actually going to cost, save us, correct? Would everyone agree on that?
Yeah, so he didn't get those numbers yet.
Right. But
Okay.
but Sean did send us something that went into much greater detail. And that is that the insulation is going to help with energy costs. And you mentioned several rooms that have no heating or air conditioning, I think.
Yes, yep.
And the cost of the individual air conditioners being expensive. So we are up against a timeline here, right? We have to either approve this, we have to approve the grant
Mm-hmm.
and not have that specific information, knowing that if we get the grant, we can still get those numbers and technically not accept the grant.
Well, so we're actually just voting to approve me
Applying.
applying for it. And so the application deadline is the 22nd. but there'll be a lengthy review period, where we'll have probably a month or two to make a determination before they even decide to award us it. Because I really wouldn't want to wait till after they award us the grant to withdraw, because then that money could have gone to another community. It doesn't go anywhere, doesn't exactly look good on us. But talking with Kelly from the Department of Energy Resources yesterday, there'll be enough time because we should have these numbers by the 20th, which obviously doesn't give us time to meet and have a decision before the 22nd. So we will have time between the 20th and when we're awarded the grant, probably sometime in December, to review all those numbers, meet, and determine whether or not this is an advantageous way for us to move forward. So I apologize for not getting the information. It's just the utility takes a while to evaluate this stuff, and RISE didn't feel comfortable sharing their numbers with us until it had the National Grid review, just in case there were any changes. They didn't want to misrepresent anything to us, which I understand. So I think our best course of action would be to approve the application, and then once the numbers are in, meet again, and then we can withdraw our application if we don't think it works.
Thank you so much. That's a great solution, I think. I should let the other members comment. Is that okay with everybody? Jacob?
Yeah, I agree and appreciate the recommendation. I think that's the way to go forward. I'm just going to echo my comment. Sean, do you know approximately what's the timing of the cycle of when they anticipate these grants going out? Is it like Q2, Q3 of next year? Like what?
So
How long of a runway is this that we're talking about?
So they do 2 rounds of grants. They do a fall and a spring round.
Okay.
So she was saying it will likely be, and it varies project to project because these decarbonization grant projects are typically much larger than the normal like weatherization or lighting upgrades that you do with the regular Green Communities grant. So she was thinking it would be awarded sometime in December. It definitely won't be any time before Thanksgiving because our annual report for FY25 for Green Communities isn't due till November 7th. And you can't get any of the Green Communities grants until they review that report and make sure that you're still compliant with the criteria of being a green community.
Okay, no thanks. That's actually quite a bit faster than I was thinking. So that seems to be good. My final comment on this, as I said before, if we do get this and we do proceed, I will encourage us to be very aggressive on procurement. I think the numbers that we were seeing were way too high for that.
Well, and so to that, I stayed on the call after we got off with everybody involved in this project with CMRPC and Dewar just to discuss the insulation application because obviously they see these types of projects all the time and try and get their feel for whether or not that was a high number. And she agreed with us that she does think it's on the high side and thinks when we bid out the insulation portion of it, we'll get a lower number for that project.
Great. All right, let's do our best. Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I would support this.
Okay, anyone else have questions or comments? Then
I
are we ready?
appreciate. Oh,
I'm sorry,
I
what?
was just going to say I appreciate the additional data and work, and the email was very helpful. So thank you.
Yes. And if you're still offering a tour,
Yeah, anytime you guys want, if you want to come look at what exactly we're talking about. I just again think it's a great opportunity. Just the insulation alone. So talking to our mechanical engineer in the design phase, the insulation in the attic will allow us to reduce the size of the top floor equipment by about 30%. So that'll be an electrical savings and an upfront cost and equipment savings too. Whereas if we don't do the weatherization, we'll have to, or if we don't do the grant, we'd have to find a way to fund the weatherization or just spend all that extra money.
oh, thank you very much for doing this. Okay, so are we ready to make a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the board vote to support the submission of the town's application for a $500,000 FY 2026 Green Communities Decarbonization Grant to the Massachusetts Department of Energy Resources to help fund HVAC upgrades and attic insulation at the town offices, with a required town match of $125,000 to be funded from previously approved capital articles.
Second.
I think Jacob beat you to it, Laura. Motion made by Mike, seconded by Jacob. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. John,
Aye.
Laura,
Aye.
Jacob,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Thank you very much, Sean.
No problem, you guys. Have a
you.
good night.
Good night.
Thanks, Sean.
Okay, next on the agenda, request to accept Mass DOT grant on Route 9 for the water main extension. And Mike, I think you asked that excellent question about what the cost to the property owners would be. And from what I've read, it looks like it's going to be a complete project, no cost to them.
Right, they're doing the plumbing, they're covering the betterment costs, so that's terrific.
Yeah. Okay, so any questions, comments about this request? All right, then is there a motion?
Yes, there is. Madam Chair, I move that the board vote to accept a $951,807.07 grant from the Massachusetts Department of Transportation to fund bidding and construction, including engineering and all physical improvements of a water main extension along Belmont Street, Route 9, to serve properties with private wells showing elevated sodium chloride levels, and to authorize the town administrator to execute the grant agreement and any related documents.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, John.
Thank
Motion
you.
made by Laura, seconded by John. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Mike,
Aye.
Jacob,
Aye.
Laura,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Thank you very much. That was, I think, that request came from you, right, Scott?
Yes, it did. Yes.
Okay.
I hope
Thank
I was able to
you.
answer the questions via email earlier today.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you for your
Thank
support.
you.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks,
all
Scott.
right. All right, next on the agenda, now we move on to special town meeting situation. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is White Cliffs rezoning article. Planning board met last night and they unanimously decided that an overlay would be the best way to rezone the property. So Stephanie, you and I spoke earlier, and is it best to vote on this tonight, or think you have some news for us that we're going to have to meet one more time before?
I know, it should be a 2-second meeting, but and we'll talk about it in executive session, but because we don't have that option to purchase, everything's on hold. The town of Northborough has this funky, speaking of trying to change some language in the bylaws, you have to literally write out the entire article verbatim in any town I've ever worked in. When it comes time for the selectmen to endorse it, it's just a vague kind of, endorse, and then you will, of course, see the whole article when you post it, when you post the warrant. But anyway, so we have to wait. I would like to schedule, and now that we can go over this in executive session, but we have to, no matter what, meet before, I would like the 16th. And I have to post the meeting 2 days ahead of time, so that would be the 14th. Yeah, and again, it's literally a 2-second meeting. You could just jump on a Zoom as long as we post it and say, I make a motion to endorse this article, this article, this article, end of story. But tonight we actually have to vote to close the warrant, and then we're going to have to reopen it.
On the 16th.
Yeah, whenever we
Meet again.
Yeah.
So we reopen and then close it that day.
Well, we close it tonight and then
Close
we
it tonight.
reopen it. Yep.
Okay. So, what is your recommendation that we hold off on the zoning article?
I mean, you could vote on it tonight.
Is everyone, did everyone get the email from Lori on what the planning board is recommending? So the motion would be basically to see if the town will vote to amend the Northborough zoning map and Northborough zoning bylaw to create a hospitality overlay district or take any action relative thereto. And the properties would be to rezone a portion of 167 Main Street, which is the White Cliffs Mansion. Actually, it would be to rezone the entire property, right? And 0 Main Street.
Rezone isn't really the right word. I think I'd say to put an overlay on.
Overlay.
Yeah.
A hospitality overlay district, I believe she called it. If you don't feel comfortable, we don't have to do it tonight. We can do it with all the other ones and I can get the exact motion for you.
Okay,
Um,
everyone in agreement with that? Yes, Laura.
Just ask, is there any chance we could do it on the 15th or is the 16th?
the only thing we have to do is tonight make a decision on the option to purchase because because I can, well, whatever, we'll get into it, but
Well, I
yeah.
guess if the rest of the board is available, I may or may not be able to make it because of a work meeting. So I'll do my best, but if I'm the only one that can't make it, then the 16th is okay. And I'll do my best, but I just want to make that just quickly.
So
Yeah.
technically, we just need a quorum.
Right.
So
Okay.
don't
So then
stress.
let's stick with
So
the
what-
16th.
What would we be voting on the 16th? Like our up or down select board?
To endorse
recommendation?
the warrant articles.
Right. I mean, so I think it'd be super important to have everybody there for that, right?
It would.
I will be.
important,
I'll be
but
on
you
my
don't have
phone.
to. Yeah.
I can be on my phone.
Yeah, you could
decide
call
what
it.
I will
No, I mean,
Right.
I just say, yeah, I'm not trying to put you in a tough spot, Laura. I'm just saying if we all need to be somewhat flexible scheduling wise to make sure all 5 of us can vote, I'm willing to do what to be flexible. So
And we'll have,
Okay.
let's put it this way, your board will be in agreement, hopefully on everything up until that point. So I'll have the language, it'll be 2 seconds, we just have to get Julian to read really quick.
So
I can do that.
4:30 to 5:30, I will not be available.
Okay,
After, and then I could be on my phone afterwards.
oh, actually, I would like it, I'm flying out that day, so I would love it to be before, 4 sometime.
Could we do it before noon?
How about
Let's-
8 a.m.?
I mean, if you're not joking.
Well,
I gotta be
honestly,
driving to work, but
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm free up until about
Can-
11.
can we say,
I could do anything.
See, what I'm trying to do is give us enough time and because I don't know. So if whatever we talk about in executive session has to go back to them. So it's I'm just a sitting duck. I'm I have no idea what's going on here. So we have to push it as late as we can. So want to just say the 16th, 12 noon.
I definitely can't do 12. I could do 11.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Anything before noon.
Oh, okay. Let's do 11 then. Just As-
Wait, real jobs here. Hold on.
oh, sorry. Well, just say you have to go to the restroom.
I'm glad that
John, this is a real job too. You just don't get paid for it.
this is volunteerism at its best. The other one provides my family. So my preference on these things is first thing in the morning, just because I'll have no control of my calendar once it gets going during the day. Or so end of the day and beginning of the day for me. So if there's a way to do it
All right.
early,
Yeah. We'll just
38, that would be much more beneficial than trying to know that I'm not going to get reprioritized at 11.
all right.
I can do 8. I can do 8, 9, 10.
Can you do 8? Okay, Jacob can do 8, Laura can, John prefers 8.
Mike's on the
Mike,
road. I
you'll be
think was the
driving?
issue.
I'll be, yeah, I mean, my start is like 8:30, so I kind of don't want to walk into work being like, oh, I gotta go jump on a call.
Mhm.
So I don't know if like a 9 would work.
How long is it gonna take, Steph?
Like seriously, 7 minutes.
So
Mike,
I
are you allowed to enter your work before 8:30? Could you get there like at 8 and then take it from 8 to 8:10?
I'm gonna be in my car, but
No,
That'll be fine.
that, was that directed at Mike to see if?
Well,
he-
in
Oh,
general,
sorry.
like, yeah, I mean, I'll probably just leave earlier for work to make sure I'm in a stable spot. But
I have
What
to get my
about-
kids to
Right.
school.
Would
Yeah, but if-
Friday be better for you guys?
what day?
I'm good
Friday?
on Friday's good. The 17th, that's not too late.
Friday is good for me generally.
Well,
Yes,
that's the day
sure.
we have to totally post it, so that's the last day.
Does that have
Steph-
risk, Steph?
Huh?
Steph, when are you flying out?
I'm flying out Thursday at 4:10.
Oh, so Friday you would be where you're at. Okay.
Yes, I could, yeah.
Okay.
I can do Friday.
Mhm.
All right, let's do Friday just so like I feel a little bit better because God, this is just so
Okay.
crunched.
Friday
Yeah,
at
but Friday-
8 a.m.?
Friday at 8 works.
8
Does it
a.m.
work for you, Jacob? Mike, is that okay?
I mean, it's a little tough just because with being here in the morning, getting kids out the door, getting on the road, getting to work.
So what time would work for you Friday?
I mean, Friday, again, I mean, taking time out of work, but safely, like 8:30 to, I prefer 9, but I mean, if everybody but me is saying they need to go earlier, maybe, so 8:30 to 9 would be the best, because then I'm at work and I can give my boss a heads up about what I'm doing. At least I'm there.
Yeah.
Does 8:30 work for you, John?
No, it doesn't. I mean, once my day starts, it starts. Let me think. 7 work for people, like before we get going, or is that too early for folks?
7's fine.
I'm
for
at
me.
work at 7 on a Friday.
Mike, does that work for you?
Yeah, let's get up early. Let's do 7. We'll get it out of the way early.
Okay.
7,
I'm
8.
game.
As long as Stephanie's vacation isn't in Hawaii. I don't even know
Oh
if
my
you're going on a
gosh.
vacation.
No,
or
no, it's
you
in
didn't say.
Florida.
Okay.
Oh, so it's the same
You're in
time
Hawaii,
zone,
it'd be
but
like
you're an
1
early
a.m.
riser, right?
Yes, I do get up early. I
Well-
just
And Diane,
I
does
can't
that
have
work
that
for
many
you?
margaritas the night
I would,
And there's
I was gonna
not-
say that, but
I'll
and-
save it
and
for the 17th.
just
Okay.
thinking outside the box, right? You don't see anybody being like, why is the select board having a 7 a.m. meeting? Are they trying to hide something?
But they probably will, but we're not. It's just like we're waiting for the
No, I mean, I know why we're doing it, but I'm
Yeah.
just kind of just randomly thinking about optics. But yeah, all right.
Well,
7
we do have
a.m.
meetings that go to 12:10 in the morning, so
Yeah, no kidding.
Fair
I
enough.
know that's
All right.
shady.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
Thanks so much. I appreciate the flexibility.
Okay, so we have scheduled another meeting and we will do the rezoning then. And next on the agenda is vote to close the warrant and to approve the warrant articles for special meetings. So Stephanie, we have to close the warrant tonight, right?
That's what town council told me to do.
Okay, so is there a motion?
Can I just say I'll support it, but it doesn't really make sense to close it and then plan to reopen it.
I
I'm
know,
just
so I
thinking
get,
about
you know what? I think he might have been thinking we were doing just the zoning article. That's what he must have been thinking. You're right. It doesn't make sense if we're not doing that.
Right.
Does leaving it open allow some other type of citizens petition or anything
It
like that?
does.
Yes.
It does, actually.
Mike, I
So-
promise not to propose any new warrants, just for your.
Yeah.
I think we should close it and then reopen. Diane
I agree.
nodding, yeah.
I agree.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so this,
I'll make a motion.
oh, thank you.
I move that the board vote to close the November 3rd, 2025 special town meeting warrant.
Second.
There's second from Mike.
Yes.
Motion made by John, seconded by Mike. Any discussion? Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Jacob?
Oh, one discussion. So Stephanie, the thing you mentioned earlier about throwing something on the special town meeting for the sign by law, that's off the table, obviously, because of what we're saying right now, right?
Yeah, but because I was thinking town meeting is right around the
It's
corner.
next April. It's not too far.
We
away.
actually have a list of items that
Okay.
need to get changed.
We just hibernate in the snow for a few months and then we'll pop out and
Yeah,
fix the bylaw.
like a groundhog.
Yeah, sorry, no discussion. I'm good.
And you're voting aye
Oh, yes, sure.
on the motion?
Yes.
Laura?
Aye.
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The warrant is closed. Okay, so wait. All right. Sorry, people. All right, next on the agenda is pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A3, possible vote on the following collective bargaining agreements. The Northborough Firefighters Local 3057 IAFF, the Coalition of Police, Local 165, Police 165A, Coalition of Police, Local 165B. So.
So
I
you
reckon-
guys already ratified.
Right.
It's just the
This is
vote
making it
in public
official.
session. Yes.
Okay,
It's,
All
yeah,
right.
it's the contracts, but we don't have them ready for tonight, so we'll,
we're gonna
Postpone
pass
to-
over this.
yes, to a next meeting.
Okay. All right, just not the Friday 7 a.m. meeting. Okay?
No,
No.
Okay,
maybe October 20th.
all right. Okay. Moving on to reports. John, do you have any reports? Anything to report on? John, can you hear us?
Trying to get off mute and my computer on haywire. I have no reports to report on.
Okay, Mike,
No reports tonight.
Laura,
No reports.
Jacob?
Super quick, because actually I didn't get to do a report in my last meeting, and I wasn't going to complain about it, but you probably might want some updates. ZBA, they approved whatever the procedure they were on for the 129 Maple Street, which I believe has begun demolition. And so the plan for that went to land court, that came back, the parties settled, the ZBA approved their plans. So that's been multi-year situation. And for those in that area, it's kind of a big deal. So just wanted to update you on that. Planning board, we kind of know what they did recently on the zoning, so we're going to talk about that more in our next meeting, but thank you to them for the work they're doing. Open space, we had an update on the Bewalt Trail and the aqueduct process. The gentleman whose name I don't have in front of me that came before the select board like a year ago is continuing to help work and offer services for design plan. I don't think we did any specific votes yet on that, but we were talking about what's the part of Route 9. It's not Belmont Street, it's like next to the ball fields.
Lawrence?
Forgot it. I forgot the name. It's parallel to Route 9, but north of Route 9 and goes right along the ball fields back there. And so they were talking about possibly having the trail go there. Anyway, we don't need to get into detail. We're continuing to talk about that in open space committee. One other just kind of timely update, I think, with respect to Fire Station Building Committee. I did receive today or yesterday some of the LSP reports, and I've been kind of going through them myself, but just one kind of item of note for those interested. From what I read in the most recent, as of 9/15/2025 truck report, there had been at that point about 174 truckloads of petroleum contaminated soil to the asphalt facility, which was over 6,000 tons worth. And that doesn't include the areas that they still need to excavate, including under the office where it currently is. So for your information, I don't think that saga is over yet, but we'll continue to keep an eye on it.
Was that due to unsuitable compaction testing?
The report I was looking at was all stuff that went to the asphalt recycling center.
Well, it all has to because it's regulated soil under DEP, but I'm just saying the reasons for trucking it off? Is it because it didn't pass the compaction test?
Well, let's put it this way. I got a lot of data and I didn't sift through it all yet. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that ends your report?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. All right, so I have a couple of things. I went to the MMA conference today at Cyprian Keys. The topic was fiscal challenges that we are all facing. And it was basically every town is facing the same problems we are. High cost of municipal buildings, school budgets keep increasing, and a lot of it is from unfunded mandates and health insurance costs. So I know that Stephanie is planning on inviting our legislators so that we can advocate for more money from the state and funding some of these mandates. But it was it's not just our town that's facing some fiscal challenges. And the other thing I just want to bring up is I think everyone might have gotten their postcard for special town meeting, which was very nice. But are we going to do, like a code red like we did didn't we do that for the fire station special town meeting? And Andy had put up a signs at schools and the town hall for the meeting. And I don't have children in school, but I think that the school has a pretty robust email, and they might send out information for us too. So, the other thing I learned today is you have to communicate in various ways. So if we could really get the word out, that'd be great. Any thoughts on that?
Temporary signs. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Banners, lots of banners.
It's only $1,200 for 6 months wherever you want them.
Right.
Okay.
Just not at the dog park.
We need 100 people to meet the quorum at special town meeting.
Mhm.
And I know I was just talking about that the other day. That's my biggest fear. People are so into it, but I hope they're not like, town
Oh,
meeting.
I don't need to go, right?
Right. I don't need to go. It's everyone, loves this. So I wouldn't be adverse to a code red, but it's up to you guys.
We did get some objections the last time, but it was very few. Diane, do you remember? I think just,
Less than a handful. I
yeah.
think.
Yeah, I'm a stickler with code red because people are going to ignore it if you keep calling for everything. But I think a special town meeting is, warranted for that type of reach out.
Okay. All
Fine.
right. Well, yes. And someone had a comment?
Oh yeah, I mean, I want to get the word out. I'm not sure I'm in on the code red usage for this. My just 2 cents. I'm like 60-40 on the against side. Not strong feelings, but
I'm 60-40 against as well. And I tell you that I know make a handful of complaints, but like the parent network was not pleased. It really was not pleased. And I think people might place it really town meeting, it was like really surprising a lot of people to get that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if
just
just the
drives
name.
our numbers. I mean, our numbers.
No, I was going to say, I don't know if it's like the name of it gives that connotation that it should be emergencies only and not for sort of communication. I know there's you have to pay for them, but other types of communication things that will do push notification and other stuff that people can sign up for. Yeah, I mean, I think I voted to do it in the past, somewhat 60, maybe 70-30 reluctance to do it. We've done it before, so I guess maybe I'd have the same feeling now. I don't know if it's something we want, if we do it, if we want to, Julianne, I know previous chairs of the select board had done the message. I don't know if there's maybe a discussion to be had about maybe the town administrator doing it to be just sort of more, we're not supposed to be a political body, but apolitical, kind of having
Oh, right,
the
yeah.
town administrator do the message. I'm not trying to take anything away from you, Julianne.
Oh, no,
I
that's,
just, yeah, I just didn't know, like, if you wanted to do it, or, that I'd still be okay with it, but maybe a discussion about sort of who should be doing the message.
Can I do it in a British accent?
It's
That
more
would get
the-
some attention.
yes.
And I don't know if we can press, a community advocate to try and get them to put something front page about it. I mean, White Cliff seems to get a
Oh,
lot of
definitely.
clicks
Yeah.
and likes on their social media posts and everything. So I'm sure they'd be very interested in it.
Yeah.
If we could get a front, try and push it as much as possible to amp it up and see if we can't get front page of that, or even other, newspapers, the Telegram or something, to, if Boston Globe wants a follow up to their story, here it is. They
Right.
ran a story, and now here's the back piece of it. So maybe they'd cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, yeah, I like the posts on the town puts on their Facebook page, the town clerk puts out. I don't know if they could create an event, because when you create the event, it'll create a reminder for people that do use Facebook. I don't know if that's going to create extra work or not, or
No,
what
it's
the board's
not.
thoughts are on that.
No, we can do that.
I do.
And I'm okay. Pardon me?
No, sorry, Laura. I interrupted.
No, it's okay. I do go back and forth on the Code Red notification. I mean, if we could just each get 20 of our friends to show up and vote for this, like, we need to make sure we get a quorum for this.
I do think, and I mean, I love how Julianne framed it up front, just in terms of like thinking different ways to communicate. And I feel like the social media on Facebook, the groups are pretty active, and they all pick them up. And if they all pick them up, and to Mike's point, community advocate, any other press, I feel like we get there. Maybe I'm just naive, but I feel like 100 we get there. To Laura's point about all of us encourage our networks to go, because this is the way you get involved, and we're involved, so people are more likely to do it if we're involved. So I do feel like we get there, but I'm afraid of looking dumb if we don't.
I know. I think there's a little bit of there's still a little bit of PTSD from the last town meeting that went for 4 days, and maybe if people know that if they don't have, I mean, if it goes for 4 days, they can show up at any time. Hopefully they'll show up on the first day, and this will be a quicker town meeting, but that was a very drawn out process last year.
Laura, you bring up a super important point that we haven't discussed. Can we make this a crisp, balanced town meeting and show what good looks like in the special town meeting, and not filibustering and long, and like we should really be clear and crisp on this. People know about it.
Yeah.
That's up to the moderator.
Sure.
We have to.
That just reminded me, just to make the plug. I know it's on everyone's mind, and especially on Stephanie's, but obviously anyone listening here, the reason the final lease language hasn't gone out is because it's still being worked on, right, Stephanie? That's what we're about to talk about in executive session. Yeah, so I know folks are really anxious. Lots of folks are really anxious, and what's in the fine print, what's in the lease. And I've explained, folks in my network, is it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us to give you a lease that has terms that the parties are still going back and forth on, and that's just going to create more confusion. And I know it's frustrating to hear from the public standpoint, but I don't know a better solution than what we're doing.
Do we anticipate, do you know how many articles we're going to have in total on the warrant?
To be 3, right?
Yep, it's 3. So the lease has, subparts to it, but it's the lease, the TIF, and then the zoning.
So I think what I'm hearing is no on Code Red, but I would like to have a conversation about exactly how we can, if people can opt in for that kind of news. I'm not sure if they, so we'll review that at another meeting. But any other publicity? Yeah.
Yeah,
Mike?
sorry to interrupt. Yeah, Madam Chair, just question for Code Red. Can we do text message only? Does it have to go
I was
voice?
just thinking that, and I think we can sign up for specific town notifications, water main breaks or da da da. So I'm gonna ask the the fire chief, if he
Yep.
can do it through just people that sign up for those things, like town, meeting
Yeah.
notification.
Or even if it was an old message just through text, maybe that's, people get a phone call and it's like, well, what is it? Because everything's through text and email, right? When you get a phone call, you think it must be important,
Yeah.
and it's somebody telling you to go to town meeting, and you're like, oh, what was, certain people, people can get annoyed by that. But if it's just a text, maybe that's less intrusive, and maybe we'd be more okay as a board to put that out rather than a voice message.
John,
Just
the
throwing it
people
out there.
that you heard from who were not happy with the phone call, do you think that they'd be okay with a text?
Remind me, was it normal ring when it does it, or is it an emergency ring when it does it?
I think it's a normal ring. I
think
got
it's
it
a
on a
normal.
text because I signed up for both.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I think you get it and you pick it up because it says code red on it, and it has like a emergency type thing on it. So that I think felt a reach to have something that wasn't an emergency. It wasn't like Town of Northborough, if I remember correctly.
oh, so the caller ID said code red and
The
maybe
caller ID was like it's an emergency. It wasn't
Okay.
like so you're doing something and you look at it and you pick it up. It wasn't like Town of Northborough. That's the way that was the way I remember it, at least. And so when I heard it, I remembered it that way. And I said, oh, I can totally see how that would be something that is alarming and you don't want, it feels intrusive.
Uh-huh. Okay, Stephanie, if there's a way to, lessen the scariness of it, then we'll do it. But if not, I think attacking it from every other publicity mechanism will be okay.
Okay.
All right.
Can we, in the emails, I don't know if this is silly, but can we put a line in it that says like tell a friend, invite a friend, spread the word, like an ask of the community? Like if you're coming to vote, try and get other people to come with you. Just trying to think of other ways to get people engaged. Can we do an RSVP? Like let us know if you're coming or not, just to get some buy-in and
that
like
would so annoy them.
okay.
I have a hard time RSVPing to my kids' birthday parties. So
I know. I'm thinking that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Well, if I
right.
have other ideas, I'll let you know. But I think if there is panic that is, related to the code red, let's definitely revisit that, not go that route.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I do like the
That was not
DPW
the
sign.
intention.
Oh, sorry. I do like the DPW sign on Route 20 if it's not being applied to a, higher
Yes.
and better use at the time, if it's available.
Yeah,
It should
that's a
be.
good one. Okay. Does anybody see a hand up for public comment at all?
I don't.
We're okay.
There are no hands up.
Thank you very much. Okay, and
Oh,
Jacob.
there is.
Oh, there is?
One
Oh,
just-
good.
There is one just
one
came
just
up.
popped up. Let me
Yep.
get them in here. Okay.
Suzanne.
Hi everyone, it's Susie Sislicka, 8 Emerson Road.
Hi, Susie.
How are you all?
Well,
Good.
we're good. You probably have a network that you could help us with.
I wasn't going to speak about that, but I was going to say that there are some of us that have our own town Facebook pages. And I think someone has a list of us of committee chairs, and you could ask us to share. And if you get some snappy flyers saying there's only 3 articles, come on down. That might get people there too. Because it, is busy sports season, but if people know about it and you capitalize on the large amount of people that toured it, I think we can get people there. I know I've been telling a lot of people that, and I even have a kid whose birthday is that night, and he's like, Mom, and I'm like, it should be short. So let's, I just wanted to say thank you about all the work. And I know Andy's no longer with the town, but all the work that was done to get the voting at the senior center. So I was very excited to see that on the little card. And I've had people texting me pictures of that and everything. So thank you to everyone involved and putting up with my speeches for probably 10 years now. Probably 10 years has it been? Anybody that's been listening? So thank you very much. And I I think that's it. And Steph, I don't know. I missed part of the meeting. It was choppy over on YouTube, so I jumped over here. But should I mention our Buro stroll quick?
Yeah, that they've definitely heard about it, but you can mention it again.
Yeah, so I've been talking with businesses in the past 2 weeks, and we've gotten even more on board. So I'm very excited about that too, and they are too. And my committee met last night, and they're even more excited. So we're going to have more people going back out, trying to get even more businesses on board. And they love the economic development. So I'm hoping that maybe we can do like something the day of the tree lighting, which will be December 6th, Saturday, December 6th. Maybe like encourage a sidewalk sale or something. Just nothing that we have to do, but to get people out and about. So I love the economic development. And October 24th, we are also having our jack-o'-lantern stroll pumpkin drop off. And I encourage businesses can drop off jack-o'-lanterns this year. Don't have to do anything but drop one off. And I encourage all of you to carve a pumpkin, drop one off. Because you can just enter. You don't have to be a child. You can enter as most creative, spookiest family. We're gonna have
That's a
some good
challenge to
prizes.
us.
It is a challenge. I want to see some carved pumpkins. So
Okay.
those are my reports from all my different. I didn't touch zoning. I'm not going to touch the zoning one. I'm not touching the signs. I have a lot of thoughts on that, but I'm not going to touch them.
All right. Well, Susie, thank you so much for advocating for the change of the election location.
Yes, thank
and
you.
everything else. And
Yeah.
we'll see you at town meeting, and happy birthday to your child.
Thank you. You can tell him, maybe I'll bring him. Democracy is a birthday gift.
That's
Yeah.
a great birthday present.
I'll bring a cake if that makes it happen.
Okay. Have a good night,
you.
everyone. Thank
Night.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
All right. So, future agenda items. Jacob, you requested one at the last meeting.
I honestly don't know if I could rephrase it from memory, but yeah, I would just like to reiterate whatever I said last meeting for possibly a future
And
agenda
any
item for the
other
next meeting.
future agenda items? One thing I would like to request is it was mentioned during the meeting with Senko Band that I got the impression that Marlboro has some criteria for accepting TIFs
Yeah, she said job creation.
is one.
Yeah.
I wonder if not necessarily the next meeting, and when things settle down, but maybe we should have something like that. Some guidelines rather than it just be. What do you?
Yeah, I can definitely look into that. Yeah.
Okay. And not for the next meeting, because I think we're going to be pretty busy the next few.
I think it's worthwhile, and I think we should be really pragmatic that Marlboro is a pretty developed city and we're a town. So like our requirements might not look like theirs. Like what they did recently with they did a substantial TIF for hundreds of jobs for, was it a crime lab? Do you remember? Does anyone did the most recent one? So what Meredith is doing at Marlboro, I think, is really remarkable. She partners very closely with my company, Boston Scientific, and is very engaged, and gets Boston Scientific to contribute quite a bit to the community. So the way that they engage is actually pretty impressive.
She's like the mafia.
It's like the Velvet Hammer.
Yeah.
Marlboro's done. I'm really impressed with what Marlboro's done. Like you can see the development downtown and the apartment. Like Marlboro's done a nice job.
True, and even that walk on Lake Williams.
Yeah, they all add up. All the small things add up, right?
Amazing. Okay, is there any other business to come before the board? All right, then, hearing none, I will, at this time, state that the board will enter into executive session pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining, a tax increment financing agreement with Senko Band, and the White Cliffs rental agreement, as an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the town's negotiating position. We will also be approving prior executive session minutes. The board will adjourn from executive session and not return to open session. So do I have a motion?
So
Moved.
moved.
So moved by
Second.
Jacob. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Laura. Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote. John,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Jacob,
Aye.
Laura,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Okay, so you can take a 5-minute break and log on to a different
Yeah, Diane
meeting.
just
I just sent-
resent
yep.
it.
Will someone send it to my non-town email just because I'm locked out of my town?
Oh,
one?
yeah, I'll
Thank-
send it because I have it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you
See you in 5.
in a few minutes.
Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.